Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with Daily Technical Update. It is Tuesday the 4th of November. This video is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is purely to demonstrate how I try to read the market using technical analysis and my experience. And remember, there are no certainties around. There's no absolutes or anything. Market can change easily. And at the moment, it seems to be a little bit stretched in the US market, and we could be in for a correction. I said it for a couple of times. We have had this top and reversal-like candle here, this hammer-like candle or hanging man, if you like, for last week, and then for the past 3 trading days we have market open higher, but sellers took control throughout the session. Looks a little bit weird, and look at what's going on here now on the pre-market. We have US Nasdaq 100 DCFD, where it's actually more or less illustrates the future that is dropping 1.3% already. And I think we could be in for a correction going on here. Not necessarily a trend reversal, but a correction. And I think we could see down to around 25,384, possibly lower. There are some supports around, obviously. Here, pre-market on the US 500 also lower. And looking at, let's have a look at the overall cash market here, S&P500. Same picture as Nasdaq, really, where we had these 3 negative candles where market opened higher, but closed lower, but still closed with a little bit of a gain. So it's a weird combination, but I think we could see it setting back a bit to 6,755, where we have some support. Let's see if it holds that, but really to turn to a bearish trend, well, it needs to still to get below 6,550. Dow Jones, bearish candle yesterday, 0.5% lower, but look also here, open higher, but sellers took control throughout this session. And if we are looking again at the US 500 pre-market, we can see, well, there is likely a setback here going on. There is some profit taking, there is some nervousness in the market, and we also had the rising interest rate here the past few days. In the Asian session and Hang Seng, still below this 26,560, and I think it will set back. Negative sentiment actually on the R side, so could set back here. And if we move into the Nikkei, we warned about it yesterday that we could see a top reversal, and now we have it in place. We have a doji up here, so we have a bullish candle here, bearish one here, so we have a doji evening pattern formation, top and reversal formation, and I think first move down to around just below 50,000 could be in the cards here the next few days, unless it takes out the peak here from today and Friday here. Let's see which one is the 695. So this is actually the one that is the highest one right there, 52,695. So we have some support here at 50,000, and we have that for 2 reasons. We have it, first of all, it was around these levels here. We had some spike ups. I see 50,000 where it took off, and then we have the 38.2 retracement. In the European market, well, was a fairly fine day yesterday on EuroStoxx50. If it gets back below 5,635, we could be in for a correction that could take it lower. And let's see what's going on in the pre-market. We can actually see the sell-off has started, more than 1% indicated lower here at the open. 5,600, very close to that, and we have a minor support. It's not a strong one at all, 5,600, but there's some sort of psychological there too. We could see a setback to around 5,500. DAX also was fairly good yesterday, but basically just range bound in bigger picture here below the key resistance at 24,340, and pre-market we are more than 1% lower, and we can see what's going on. If it takes out the lows here at 23,675, we will also be below the cloud, and if RSI closes back below 40 threshold, then we are in a negative sentiment confirmed bearish trend that could take DAX lower towards these areas here around 23,280 in this range here, where we also have the 200 moving average coming up. Moving on to the FX markets, euro dollar slightly lower, still in this bearish trend here, could push lower to 114. We can see 55 moving average coming down here, and give it a couple of days, then it's likely to break below 100, and they seems to be both declining, so we will have a bit of a death cross. Not the strongest one because they are not the two medium terms, but still it will be a fairly bad signal for a bearish signal, depending on which way you are actually, so bad or good. The sterling dollar pair trade sideways here around 131.40 after having dipped a little bit below 131. I still believe we will see a bit of a correction up to the 38.2 retracement here at 132.40. And we can see there's not much support down here. We are a little bit stretched short term, and I think a bounce, and then we could see the next wave lower. The euro sterling still holding on a little bit. We are in a bullish trend, no divergence on the RSI, indicating likely higher levels, and I think we will get it eventually, but it's just pausing a little bit and could set back a little bit. Forget about that spike down there, that's a misprint. I'm sure, I hope they will get it fixed fairly soon. So we are still, but you can see we had two spikes up there, so there's also some resistance here around 88.17, 88.15, 20 that needs to be taken out to really push further or push higher. Excuse me. The dollar yen pair here rejected once again here around 154.40, 50 level, and there seems to be a stronger resistance there, so we could see a short-term setback, possibly down to, we have some support here at 153.25. We could see it lower to 152.65, which is the 61.8 retracement. We're still in a bullish trend, but as you can see here, let me just draw the falling trend line here. There is divergence on the RSI, as you can see, RSI declining, so a little bit short-term correction, but medium term we're still in a bullish trend, no divergence on the RSI, pointing to higher levels eventually, but it seems not to be a slam dunk and a straight line. It will be with some corrections that we can see here also, and a little bit of a setback. The bullish trend will first be really demolished, and we will put into neutral if it takes out 151.5. Euro yen, let's move on to that. Also setting back here, already trading 50% of this move up there. If it takes out, and I think if it takes out, and let's just move, there we are. And then we see that it is back down there, 176.60, then I think we could see it also taking out the 61.8 retracement and move down to 786 retracement here at 175.65. So it has not been that strong either. We had some warning signs, which we have talked about, the declining RSI. Aussie yen also setting back, adjustment, there we are. And I think we could see it setting back to around 99.30, which is the 38.2 retracement. And then we could see another bounce, but also here we can see RSI values declining. So also stretched there. However, medium term, still positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating likely higher levels after a correction. Could still see it up to around 102, 102.40. Sterling yen, caught in this range here, as we talked about, now it's setting back, could test the lower part of it, around 200 spot 50, 200 spot 65, and the 55 moving average, which is coming up here. So that's a little bit of weakness there. There is no divergence as there was no new high, so you can see the peaks here, they correspond a little nicely with these peaks here. So we just do have some support there. Aussie dollar also setting back, and that was more or less in the cards after RSI rejected a 60 threshold, after Aussie dollar couldn't close above the cloud and move back below, and now we are trading just above the 61.8 retracement after testing it this morning at just around 65. If it takes out the low today, expect the sell-off down to 64.78 area with the 786 retracement. Moving on to dollar Canada, pausing a little bit today, but it is in a bullish trend. And if it takes out, which I believe it will, at this peak here, well, then there's room up to, should be at room up to at least 141. And if we move just a little bit back here, we are in this fast area here, so not much resistance really. But the 200 moving average still holding it on a little bit with this decline. However, we are in a bullish trend. Positive sentiment is about to be confirmed here on the weekly. So let's see about that. But it needs to take out that peak there to push higher and further confirm the bullish trend. The sterling Canada has bounced as expected. Not as much as expected, but very close to 185, very close to it, trading around the 200 moving average. I think it will bounce further here in the coming days, likely up to the cloud, possibly up to 38.2 retracement there at 185.5. Let's see about that. However, if it turns around and takes out the lows there, well, then we are looking at 182. EURSwiss. I think it has bounced what it could do. It's run its run its course, spiking just above the 61.8 retracement, almost up to the 55 moving average. Now setting back, and I think now it will set back in the coming days. And you can see here RSI likely had been testing 60 threshold here during today's early session there in Asia. And I think we will now see it setting back further. So what you can do is you can do this. You can add Fibonacci to that, say, okay, what is the next? Well, that's probably down here around 38.2 retracement at 92.75, where it's going to set back. If it takes out the lows of yesterday at 92.55, then downtrend is likely to resume with a push down to around 92 again. Dollar Swiss also higher. Taking out the peak there in a bullish trend, positive sentiment on the RSI, likely to push higher towards 81.50, possibly higher, but towards that we are above the cloud, all above all moving averages. A little bit needs to turn around a little bit, so maybe a little bit of setback here, and then next move higher. Positive sentiment on the RSI is confirming that picture or supporting that picture. We had dollar index spiking just above 100, as we discussed that it was likely to do. And now setting back a little bit of a correction. Could slide back to test the support here at 99.31. But we are in a bullish trend. Positive sentiment. I don't think we have divergence there. If I do this, is it slightly declining or rising? It's really hard to say, but it is rising actually. So no divergence, indicating we could have another push up to 161.8 projection at 100 spot trend to 3, but it needs to at least take out the peak from today, where it's actually has started off on the bullish tone, but sliding back here. So let's see about that. So be careful here, but it should push higher here in the coming days. Gold is pushing, well, it's not pushing anywhere, it's just basically trading sideways, pausing a little bit. So will it slide back and take out 3,886, and then will it push down to 3,700, or should we see a bounce up to 4,100, 4,130 maybe? For now, it's just a little bit in limbo, so be careful. I think if it takes out the peak up there at 4,046, well, then I think we'll see it the bullish bounce be back in session. Silver, on the other hand, yeah, it spiked higher above the 38.2 retracement yesterday to just above 49. Didn't get all the way up to $50, which I actually did expect a little bit. It can still do it if it takes out these peaks there, but for now we are setting back again. Was it just a correction before it slides lower? Hard to say at the moment, I would say, so be careful. Let's see if it can get its mojo back and push higher, but for now I think we'll slide back a little bit further. Moving on to platinum, also sliding lower, so it's still in this range here between 1494 and 1662. Yes, it is a wide range, and that's how it is sometimes. And since platinum is such a volatile metal, then it could. It's really hard to read it, really. So if it was me, I would be on the sideline. I'm not invested at all, but if I was, then I would be on the sideline. Here we have copper, and sliding back after failing to close above 526. It did close above 515, so it's actually in a bullish trend, but there has been a negative divergence on the RSI. You can see it's been declining here, might move higher. So we warned that it was a little bit stressed after this longer, 3 months steady decline, steady rising, and now it's setting back, and 786 retracement and the 100 moving average just around 492 is likely to be tested here today. Could slide back all the way down to 482. Then I think it will bounce, because look at this, we have the 55 moving average coming up, and now is above the 200-day, both rising. So we actually have a gold cross here. So I don't think that it will take out the 482 down here, maybe spiking below, and then it'll bounce even if it comes down there. Let's see about that. It could do it, but if it does close below, then we could have a different situation. Then it will be a false death cross, which is rare, but it could occur. Let's see in the next few days. On the energy markets, the WTI crude oil still in this limbo here, and either needs to get above 62.60 or below 59.64. That's a little bit the range here. I think it will go to the downside. All moving average is declining, and it's below it, below the cloud. Negative sentiment on the RSI, likely to move lower. Brent crude oil, same picture, $64 is the key support there. European nat gas really still not doing much, so just let's move on to the US nat gas, which has spiked higher yesterday, and we can see here on the weekly almost up to 440. Can still do it. Positive sentiment on the daily RSI, no divergence. We have a little bit of a setback right now, but I think we could see a push up to 440, 450 area. But be aware, a little bit of a setback, and now seems to be in the cards. The US 10-year Treasury yields spiked just above 55 moving average, almost up to 786, retracement of 412. Think it will set back now here. RSI rejected a 60 threshold, likely to set back to maybe down to the 4% again. So what I will do, I will just scoop this a little bit to the left, and then I will add another Fibonacci here and say, okay, what is the possibly supports there? Well, we have here 38.2 at 404.8, so 405 area, and we have 61.8 here, just around 4%. Unless it takes out the spike there from yesterday, then I think we'll see it setting back here the next few days. Moving on to the European yields that also pushed higher yesterday and opening more or less at that price today, but now on a little bit of a negative tone. Let's see if it can't get up to 268. possibly it can do that, but otherwise I expect a little bit of a setback. We are in a bouncing mode, and I actually expect it to bounce further, and I think it will do it eventually. But if it slides back and takes out 260, well, then we are back in a bearish mood. The UK 10 really not doing much, just trading sideways down here. Key support at 337. Japanese higher this morning, pushing higher. Still in this, you can see bullish trend, higher highs, high lows, higher highs, and so on. And finally, crypto setting back, as we talked about yesterday, was likely to do. Seems to be headed for the 100,000 level again. And we are now in a confirmed bearish trend. Same picture on the Ethereum. So we can remove this one. They're only used to illustrate the support there at 35.10. I think we will test the 3,354 minor support here. So we have established a bearish trend for now. So let's see where it will end. But for now, it's a bearish trend and 3,354 next support. And then we don't have anything until around 3,000. All right, that's all for today. A quick and dirty one. I have other engagements. Have a nice day and talk to you again later.